Good evening, everybody on YouTube. This is Rick Thomas from Obsolete Video Services. Hey guys, here's another follow-up update on some of these Sony EV 1-inch tapes that I just got from a customer. These are early 60s machines or late 60s machines going into the 70s. I'm working on some tapes that are just boy, these things are all over the place. These were shot at a high school, I believe, not a college. Correction, I think it's a high school that these came out of. They did come out of actually Fresno, California. Correct. They are from Fresno, California. These came out of a high school. Must have been their old tape stock at some point. But they came out of Fresno. It's a high school, and they must have had one of these machines in their AV audio video department at the time. These are videos that stem from 77 up into 1979, early 80, I believe. A lot of these were all shot at a high school. Must have been their audio visual department, and they did a lot of programming, just like TV. They did like their own little TV shows and skits and all kinds of stuff. Some on location football stuff. Cheerleading, all kinds of stuff. This stuff is all over the place. I believe this was a class for teaching audio and video. Boy, I tell you, these guys got this stuff all wrong. Whoever was the teacher of this class, I'd love to talk to him. Yeah, the video on these things are all over the place. Mics are super low. Video, one camera is super hot. The other camera is balanced. They didn't do proper camera white balancing on these cameras. The video is low. Some of the audios are really low. The video levels are all over the place. I mean, you'd figure if it's an audio video class teaching video that they would be aware of these things and correct them on every recording. But these must have been just a bunch of high school kids that just did whatever, and they didn't pay attention to the fundamentals of video production work and how you do it properly when you're shooting the camera and shooting the videotape, and just to get good recordings. But these guys were just a bunch of high school kids. The settings of these things are all over the place. So I'm doing the best I can to balance all these out. The video is quite hot on a lot of these due to one camera where the other camera isn't. So I'm trying to keep the levels down to an appropriate level, just to get the video, keep it from being so oversaturated. But a lot of these videos are very hot, and you can tell it's already peaking in the meter into the hot zone on some of these. It's just slightly, not real hot, but slightly hot on one particular camera that was hooked up, because they obviously have 2 or 3 cameras. They're switching from a 3-camera setup. But anyways, we're getting these transferred off, and you'll be able to do a lot more in software to clean these up and correct them once he has the files. But these tapes, they are dirty, and some of them are sticky. Not all of them, but some of them are sticky. So I got them in my baker right now baking. But these are really not easy tapes to do, guys, especially if they've been sitting a long time. These did come out of a high school back in 77 to 1980. Maybe they've been sitting in the high school that long. I don't know. This gentleman got his hands on them, and he wants to convert them and upload them to his Facebook page to share them probably with his high school buddies, maybe, most likely, people that went to the high school at that time, which is a cool thing. But, yeah, these tapes are giving me a run for my money. I mean, these are not easy to do. I'm doing a lot to balance these out. Time-based correction is doing overload on these things. These things are all over the place. So, anyways, we're running some... some EV. It's an early or mid 60s video format. It's an EV format from the 60s, and looks like they had it in high school for quite a while, and they were using it for a video production class. Back then, I was told even some schools even had quad machines in their audio video department. It's pretty amazing. But if I was going to teach an audio video class on video production, this is not the way you do it. Unfortunately, either the kids didn't listen to the teacher and what he was teaching them, or they just did whatever and just recorded programs and didn't pay attention to how to do it properly. But These videotapes are all over the place. I mean, down to super low audio, down to real hot audio, down to one video camera super hot, the other two are balanced, one's not balanced. I mean, these things are all over the place. But but you know, like I said, when you come across projects like this, when you start doing video transfers like this, especially when you've been doing it as long as I have, you have to jump around and do a lot of corrections just to get them to look good. Because these are very old videotapes. They did come out of a high school, and like I said, many students must have been doing this because these videos are all over the place. So we're running them through time-based correction now, monitoring them on a scope. This is the pretty much happy medium just to balance these videos out due to the super hot levels on one camera and balanced out levels on another. It's just all over the place. But like I said, we're really doing pretty good transfers on these tapes. These are EV tapes, 1-inch tapes from the late 60s. It was a video production video format that was used in TV stations as well as high schools and colleges. You know, they were very expensive machines at that time, but some colleges and high schools had the money to buy these for their AV audio video departments. And this is like a little history record of the school of various different things from 77 through, I'd say, 1980, early 80 maybe, ballpark. And he must have got these tapes either, you know, at an auction, or he picked them up and maybe they were stashed away at the school or whatever, and he wanted to do something kind of nice and get these all converted, get them up on his Facebook page. But like I said, guys, this is not easy work, especially tapes like this, where I'm monitoring and jumping around like a madman. These video levels and audio levels are all over the place. You can't just set it and play it and copy it. These things have been, you know, they would stop and do a little bit one day and then do another day. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 days in a row on one tape, and everybody did it differently and wrong, and so I got to jump around and correct everything every time I turn around on every one of these tapes. It's not easy work. But anyways, he'll be pretty pleased with what he's getting. These were really hard to do, or, well, so far. I'm only up to 5 tapes. But I hate to see what the rest of them are going to look like. But we're getting there. So anyways, these are Sony 1-inch EV tapes, 1-inch tapes from the late 60s. This deck was used, it looks like, from 77 on to early 80, maybe a little earlier, I'm not too sure, but we're trying to get all these video files copied for this guy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video.